introduce her, and she's going to read some more from the book. She already read some earlier for those of you who missed it. And if you haven't gotten your book yet, this is another chance after this. Coming towards the end of the event today, so I wanted to give her a chance to share more with you.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kat, for sponsoring this party. Yay! Okay. Okay, Roxy, quiet. Okay, this is toward the end of the book. At the end of this is when they've decided to go back home, actually. Roxy. She wants to talk. Okay. And Kate is the character who owns the dogs, who adopted the dogs in the book. We discussed that earlier. She's an animal conservationist, and she took the dogs to Kenya with her for 2 years to try to help elephants. And the dogs had their own adventures there with a lot of wildlife they experienced, and especially elephants and the monkeys and crocodiles and camels. And this is where they're kind of winding down. Kate has been teaching girls in a poor community about elephants, so they'll respect them and they won't try to kill them, because in today's world, especially in Kenya, the big problem with animals and people is called human-animal conflict, and it's where mostly because the elephants, they've had ancient migratory routes for hundreds of years. They go the same direction at a certain time of year to find more water, and now there's a population explosion in Africa. And so all these people are coming in and they're building new homesteads right on the routes of the ancient animal migratory routes. And so they get into conflict with the animals, because the animals come through same place they've come in for hundreds of years, and all of a sudden there's a farm there. And the farm has crops, so they just help themselves to the crops. But of course, for the farmer, that's a big deal, because that's their livelihood. So they consider the elephants and the other animals to be pests, and they shoot them with a poison arrow. And that's the biggest problem in Kenya. Now, I'm not talking about the rest of Africa, where they still have a lot of poaching and a lot of people killing them for their tusks. This has been pretty much outlawed in Kenya, thank goodness. And Kenya is the only country in Africa that has outlawed trophy hunting. We still have, yes, for Kenya, we still have very rich people in this country who pay thousands of dollars to go to Africa and kill an elephant. Yeah, and but it's not in Kenya. It's in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana. It's very sad, because a lot of elephants are dying, and there aren't that many elephants left, So in this story, the dogs came to Africa with Kate, their owner, and her father, Horace, and they learned a lot about elephants. They met elephants, and they learned all about poaching and different things, and they're getting ready to leave for various reasons. So they also ran into a lot of people who wanted to kidnap the dogs, because these dogs are rescue dogs. They came out of bad situations. They were street dogs, they were in shelters, and then they got adopted. Romeo himself is damaged. He has steel plates in his leg, and these dogs were loved by their owner, Kate, and she took them in, and then Kate wanted to go save elephants, so she brought the dogs with her. So this is when they're about to leave Kenya. They're getting ready to leave, and this is a situation that is in the book, okay? Kate takes us for a slow walk into town. Wait, let me put my glasses on. so she can chat with a man who helps foreigners in their arrangements. There are a lot of people on the road today. As usual, we get many stares and people coming up to Kate saying, "Give me one." They would always come up to her and say, "Give me one. You have 2 nice dogs. Give me one." And she'd say, "Why should I give you one?" "Because you have 2." Romeo's making his low growl, and Kate is brushing it off, saying he's being protective. From behind a lively gathering of shoppers, a man appears and swoops me up. This is Roxy speaking. This little Roxy here. She's one of the narrators of the book. Both narrators are dogs. He entraps me with his muscular arm and takes off running really fast down the street with another guy who acts like his partner. I squirm and push and try to get away. His strong hands have a tight grip on my back. Romeo barks loudly. He pulls hard on his leash, running after us, hopping on 3 legs. He had a leg injury, so he's hopping. Mom runs with him, screaming, "Stop that dog theft! Help!" Concerned strangers turn around. Some of them join the chase. The thugs run toward a car parked near the gutter. They jump inside with me as their prisoner. The guy who isn't holding me starts up the car. It's all happening so fast. What's going to become of me? Romeo is still barking and howling. In a flash, he pulls away from Mommy and jumps higher than I've ever seen him jump before, through the open back window of the car. Kate shrieks. Romeo is so worked up and angry, he's on fire. I don't think he even realizes or stops to think about what he's doing. The car starts moving and nearly runs over a few people. Local people are trying to help us. It speeds down the road at a breakneck pace. We speed farther and farther away from our mother and protector, the only love and safety we've ever known. I've never felt so petrified in my life. I don't think any wild animal, big or small, could make me feel as fearful as a mean human. Romeo growls loudly from the back seat, showing his teeth. He pushes his head between the front seats and tries to bite my captor. The guy hits Romeo in the snout and he falls back. It must be painful because he whimpers loudly. Moments later, he somehow jumps up from where he is in the back seat right onto the driver's head. The driver swerves the car. The guy who's holding me swigs his left arm back and whacks Romeo down. I gasp and squeak and hope he's okay. The guy looks at me and says, "Shut up." The car is speeding down the road, faster and faster, away from Mommy. I'm trembling in fear and silenced by fear. I can't see how my Romeo is doing in the back seat. After a while, I stop panting. I gather my strength and I start barking. Romeo immediately joins in with the loudest wolf howls I've ever heard him make. He boosts himself right up to the driver's ears. He is so loud the driver screams in distress. "Ah, stop it, shut up." The guy holding me puts his hands over his ears. "Shut the hell up." While he is screaming, he reaches back with one arm to whack Romeo. Poor baby. He whimpers and falls back down to the floor. After catching his breath, he somehow manages to jump back up on the driver's head. The car veers to the right, makes a sharp turn, and the driver loses control. The car ends up in a ditch in the road. The man tries to grab me. I wiggle around him and squeeze back between the seats to join Romeo. That's when I see him sitting protectively on a pair of elephant tusks. on the floor. We've been captured by wildlife poachers. We exchanged knowing looks. The dogs came to know a lot about what's going on in Africa from all the things that were going on and from their owner. The man reaches back and Romy bites his hands. Damn you, the man whacks him across the face. Poor Romy. For once in my life, I'm so angry and upset I can barely bark. I've never in my life seen a more heroic dog. The driver manages to get the car started again and it lurches out of the ditch. We pick up speed. The car swerves sharply to the right, going momentarily out of control and overshoots the road. The tires get stuck in some soft mud and the two guys jump out the door while they try to pull the car out in the mud. We jump out the window and run as fast as we can in the opposite direction. I hear the faint sound of a police siren in the distance. The thieves stop what they're doing and run after us down the road. At that moment, I think we both get the same idea, to duck to the right on the side of the road and make a sharp turn into the forest. With the guys still on our trail, we dive in among the trees. We zigzag so many times we lose our sense of direction. We're jumping over bramble and holes, which must be difficult on Romeo's sore leg. We head to the left and suddenly we realize we don't hear any footsteps. Maybe we've lost them. We're panting hard. We take a long look at each other. We hear the thieves yell something to each other. We take off again and running as fast as we can, noses to the ground. This is a matter of life and death. Ours! That's it. So you could see this film, this book has a lot of action in it, and we think it would make a great film.
Yes, we do. And that's what I want